looking. He's going to heave one deep down the field. It's going to be to the goal line. It's going to be gone. It's a touchdown. And the Gators have won this.
Good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of High Top Sports. I'm your host for the evening, Sheldon Walker. How we doing, ladies and gents? It's Monday. It's Monday afternoon. We've had a couple days now to digest what happened on Saturday. And it's again, I'm just going to remind you guys every day this week that it is Hate FSU week. So if that doesn't put a smile on your face, I don't know what will. You know what I mean? Because that should fire you, that just get you fired up. If you're not fired up already, boys and girls. Who cares? It's done and over with. Saturday's done and over with. We're on to Friday, boys, and so is Billy and the boys. Obviously, they had their press conference today, and we've done this a few times, and I enjoy doing it. We break down Billy's press conference, we watch it, and, you know, Billy talks in code. He kind of just speaks very vanilla, and I like to add a little sprinkles and cherries to his press conference and kind of, you know, tell you what I think he's really trying to say without actually saying it. So some great questions this time. Kind of spice things up a little bit. I enjoyed it. So we're going to break into that. But we'll say hey to the chat, and then let's get into it, boys. Eddie, how we doing, man? Good to see you. Jordan, what's up? Rob Scar, I'm here before, baby. Let's go. Hate State Week. Colin, please talk about Stokes' dismissal. Shit is crazy. I talked about it in yesterday's stream, big dog. We're moving on. Mike Litters, I was the first. Let's go. Like it up, boys. Let's get it. Keandre Boykin, yo, High Top, what's going on, man? And then Mama, as always. Welcome to the stream, Mama. All right, boys, so we're going to go right into it. We're going to dive into it. I'm starting at the 10-minute mark from today's press conference. You guys have already watched it, but we're going to dive into that. No, Christopher Fogg, I do not know when Fletcher is supposed to choose his destination. I have not heard yet. I'll let you know as soon as I do, though, but I don't have any information on that right now. But let's dive into it. Some great questions right off the rip here from the media, the old Billy.
Be elite, you know, and I think that it comes down to doing it when it counts, right? Put the ball down to go execute, go do your job, you know. And I think consistency that's what we're searching for. Certainly, Saturday was a little bit of a reality check in a lot of ways.
Billy, what's the message you would send to the fans right now who are obviously discouraged and disappointed about where you are?
First of all, great question. Because I was watching the first few minutes of this, and I'm like, guys, we need to spice it up here. We need to throw some punches at Billy and see how he responds. Love this question here.
I think that's an interesting question. You know, I would tell you that we got a lot of folks working extremely hard. You know, a lot of people that care. You know, there's nobody that cares and works like this group of people. You know, players, staff members, the time that these people spend relative to doing their job at a high level. I would say that one day at a time, one person at a time, this group's we're gonna get it done.
I mean, basically, you know, it's like, hey, just relax. You know what I mean? That's kind of the vibe that I'm getting from that. It's like, chill out for a bit. All right, it's one day at a time, one step at a time. We're getting through this. There's some other questions that come up here talking about just kind of the structure of college football right now with the crazy upsets that happened this past weekend and just how things are, you know, are rolling out. But look, he kind of smirked because like, it's an interesting question because he hears it. How do you not hear it? You know what I mean? So what do you say to that? Like, hey, sorry guys, like it sucks right now. Get over it. No, right? You got to just say, look, we're grinding at it. We're working at it. You think they like losing? You think Billy likes to go home and look at his wife and, you know, as a loser every night? Hell to the no. No, he doesn't. He doesn't like doing that.
Staffing with you guys. How does special teams fall into that? Who's running it? Because there's not like a special teams
Who's running the
coach.
shit show down there?
I mean, is everyone involved in it? How's that go?
Yeah, we're doing it much like we've done in the past. You know, we have all parts of our staff contribute to special teams. We've got 2 coverage units, we've got 2 return units, and we've got the 2 PAT field goal rush units. Each coach is assigned one of those, and he's the point person. Chris Couch provides the leadership there, the organizational part of that. We game plan together. And those guys execute the plan in the meeting and on the practice field. So it's the same blueprint we've used in the past and one that's been very effective for us. It'll continue to be effective for us.
Is Florida State having played Louisiana last week, can that be beneficial on some levels for the guys, the coaches who carry over?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think that there's pros and cons to that to some degree, if that makes sense. I think you may get some insight to the team that play against them, but they also win against a very similar structure to some degree the previous week, right? So I think there's pros and cons on both sides of that for sure.
Topics, but when it comes to Marcus Stokes, I don't know how much you can comment on that particular incident, but maybe just in general, is there a policy when something like that happens?
Yeah, no, we can't comment on it. Yeah, per the NCAA.
How, bro? Real quick, I said I was gonna move on from this, but it's wild. Why? In my opinion, maybe I'm wrong here, but it's wild how much press this is getting. It's like all the way to Fox News and SportsCenter. It's crazy. It is absolutely crazy to me, in my opinion. Just again, all for more political reasons than actually him being dismissed. Kids get dismissed all the time for whatever reason. But it's wild, dude. Absolutely wild. Look, Billy taking it. They're like, yeah, we can't talk about it. Move on. Real quick, I love what Lyra said. He said, upsets happen, unfortunate, but got to move forward. And that's the thing, boys. Like this. Look, I mean, Florida fans don't want to hear it, but upsets are a great time. We all love them. We all love a good underdog story. We all love when the big dog goes down. Sometimes you just happen to be that dog. That is what it is. You know what I mean? That's how that cookie crumbles, boys. That's how it happens. It's just how it works. It's football. That's why I play the games.
Rules.
Hey, real quick. How wild would it be if Marcus is at the Florida State game, but in the Florida State recruiting section?
Kind of a similar question to Matt. What's the message that you send to players after a loss like this? Maybe in terms of ones that you have to recruit back next year, or ones you're trying to recruit here, just in general.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think at this point, we've spent extensive amount of time with these people relative to,
Real quick, you know what just fucking kills me? Which is what I love, is why we get to do these things, because the guy never just answers the question. You know? It's just never black and white. And to me, like that, I would lose. I pop my lid, you know? To me, they're these kind of people. They're very passive, and it frustrates me when he does this. I love it because I get to come and break it down and tell you what he's really thinking, or what I think he's thinking. But God, it just kills me. It kills me. I'm not putting it on us, Colin. I'm just speculating. I mean, just thoughts.
what we do and how we do it. I mean, we're much like many staffs in the history of this game. We're in the first year. We've got a lot of work to do. And we're, I could be more excited about what I'm observing, relative to the improvement. Now, obviously didn't get the result that we wanted Saturday, but we got a group that's working extremely hard. We've made improvement in a lot of ways. And certainly we've got a bright future in front of us. So, I mean, it's more about the body of work, at that point in time.
So never answered the question. I mean, he did, but not really. He's basically said, hey, so, it's our first year. The guy asked, like, hey, what are you saying to these people? How do you contain these people? How do you recruit people back? He didn't give a direct answer. Just basically, look, we're going to continue to do what we're doing. I think he's like, hey, I'm bought into the process. The guys that are bought in will continue to be bought in because the body of work, although we didn't see it on Saturday, is still there. And so the guys that bought into the process early on understand what we are going through. And I feel like that's where, you can see Billy has a little bit of a swagger. He's kind of confident in himself. I think because, at this point, guys, I don't know, but I could be just, pulling out of the air here. But there's a sense of confidence of we know what we're doing. we expected these things to happen to a certain extent. Was it going to be the Vandy game that we lost or what games we would lose? I'm sure you can't get that specific, but I'm sure he was expecting things to break and not go the right way, right? So he's trying not to, my thoughts and opinion, not to be too arrogant and cocky about it, saying like, well, we're building a process here, and it's fine. It's going to be fine. But yeah, I think, I don't know. God, he kills me with his freaking responses, guys. He can't be too cocky because he didn't have the players to back it up. Look, and that's a great point, Devin, but we're looking at it from a small scale. Look at it from all year. I think progress has been happening. I understand it didn't happen last week. That's part of it. Again, these are growing pains, but I think he still feels confident in what he's been able to do with this recruiting class on top of what the guys are bought in. There's a lot of things that we don't know and we can't see. So I'm sure there's a lot of noise behind the locker room that we can't see. Again, something feels like we're going the right direction as much as we don't always see it and we don't see the results. There's just the way that he kind of is carrying himself leads me to believe that, yes, things are locked in. Spoke to my little brother. He went to a visit this past week in the South Carolina game, and he talked about how great Katie was and just the process and just how things were very organized, and it's like they got a lot of good things going on down there right now. So let me see here.
You had mentioned on Saturday that you guys would take a second look at Ventrell's targeting penalty and consider a potential appeal. Just have you guys had a chance to look at that, and how are you planning on proceeding?
Yeah, no, we've did extensive research on it, and I think all those things are done behind closed doors, with the league office and different people. So we've got great leadership in that area, and certainly, it is what it is, and certainly. There's challenges, good and bad, that go with that, right? They've got a tough job to do, much like we've got a tough job to do, and you've got a tough job to do.
Just wanted to ask you real quick, now that you've had a chance to see how the group has responded after some losses, how have you seen them kind of improve in handling those things, maybe from not even just an emotional standpoint, but moving on to the opponent, especially knowing that you got a short week now?
Yeah, I mean, I joke around with my wife. I think the kids are more resilient than the adults are, truth be known. So.
Sure, because they're not worried about losing their job like the coaches are, right? I mean, the kids, they're going to graduate, move on, and go do whatever the hell they want. But these coaches, their livelihoods on the line. You know what I mean? It stings a little bit harder. They're getting looked at way more than the players are. Players get criticism and criticized and things like that. But if they go out there and perform, I mean, NFL doesn't care about records, care about stats, care about what you're doing. So yeah, sure, I'm sure they are. Sure, they're dialed in.
This group is. It's one thing that I think we all can be proud of is how they've responded, not only after difficult experiences on game day, but also within the game, right? I think that this group has showed some resiliency. It's a tough group. It's a group that cares about each other. It's a group that's worked extremely hard for a long time, and there's no question they'll be ready to go.
Billy, can I ask one more, please?
Sure.
The rush to judgment everyone makes in these situations. What's your kind of big picture view of that? Whether it's us, fans, whatever. I mean, like you say, we're in year one, you guys. And so what's your feeling on that? Because it's being evaluated all the time on Twitter and every week, and the sky's falling.
Yeah. I mean, I think you got to get consumed with the things that are under your control. You got to get consumed with improvement, efficiency, refining every part of the systems that you run, what you do with your time. We've been through this before, right? Okay, so, this is a process, right? I mean, these things aren't, just flip a light switch and, the house is built. I think it is truly one day at a time, and it's one person at a time. And I think that there's lots of things that contribute here, but we've been here before. I've got a ton of confidence in what we do and how we do it.
So, love this section here, because obviously he talks about the skies falling, the Twitter, like the noise that's happening from Gator fans, like it is in the chat currently, right? How do you handle all that? Billy nails it on the head, and I've kind of learned from this too, and I have to take this with a grain of salt as well. Is Focus on what you can control. And so the media, our job is to focus on the noise. Our job is to focus on the Twitter nonsense and the chat, right? Because we kind of gauge and we get our opinions and our thoughts, and these guys write their articles based on how they're feeling, but also too on the gauge of how the fans are feeling, on how what they think Billy is feeling. So they've got to be consumed with all of it. So sometimes, you may be, we as fans get way deep down into it and consume it more than we can because we don't control what goes on the field, right? We can control what we say. We can control what our opinions are. So we sometimes get too dove into the negativity and the comments and whatnot because we can't control what's on the field. Thankfully, it was, great response. He's like, look, why would I care what anybody says? Genuinely. Why would he care? What's the value in him going out and listening to our dumbass? Honestly, there is none. There's zilch. There's zilch. Because look, I can speak to this because sometimes I'll read these comments and I question on whether or not, hey, am I doing the right thing right now? Am I saying the right thing? Should I have not responded to that because I get too flustered or I get worked up by somebody's comment? And because unfortunately the way our brains work is there could be 90 good comments and one bad one. We're going to hyper-focus in on that bad one. So I've had to learn it just by having this channel. So I get it. I love it. I thought it was a great response. You got to ignore the nonsense. It's all a bunch of hoopla right now. Look, we're all sitting here talking about it like we have the answers. We don't have the answers, boys. We ain't got it.
All right. Thank you, Coach. Thanks, guys.
All
All
right,
right,
guys.
let's go
Thank
watch
you.
Anthony's press conference as well, too, because I had, I was a little frustrated with Ant on Saturday.
What did it mean to you growing up in Gainesville?
These are dumb questions.
I always heard about Florida State. Always heard about the Gators, and a lot of people trying to pull you to one side or another. But big game for the state of Florida as well. So definitely got to bring it this week.
Any memories, a game? Any memories, one that sticks with you, or?
I do have some memories, not great ones, especially me playing for the University of Florida. I remember watching Dalvin Cook, just go crazy against the Gators almost every year. So that's probably one of the biggest memories I have.
Were you at that game?
No, I wasn't. I think we do like a watch party or something at one of my friends' houses, and we watched it, and we were just screaming at the TV, just heartbroken the whole time.
It was 15, actually, not 14.
How would you evaluate your performance from Saturday as a runner? Do you feel like you took advantage of opportunities the way you should have on the ground?
I know there were times I could have, pulled the ball and probably, ran backwards into the end zone. I didn't realize until after I handed the ball off, especially when it comes to RPOs and reads, stuff like that. Sometimes you can, misjudge the way a defense is playing you.
Look, hold on real quick. What he just said, I learned a lot. I realized I could have ran backwards into the end zone a few times. Here's where I'm excited for this game this week. Because maybe there's a point to where when you just go get your ass clapped like we did on Saturday, to where you dial it the fuck in and you come roaring back, right? Because yeah, we lost and we maybe felt like, oh, we didn't care, we're lazy. I don't get that vibe from these guys at all. I really don't. And I think honestly, it was more of a overlooking Vandy into next week, right? And to me, this could be very beneficial in a sense of, hey, we're fired up. I learned a lot. I realized what I did wrong, and we overcompensate. And AR starts pounding the ball again, right? We get things that got moving in the right direction again because we tried a few things that we didn't work out too well, and we got too caught up in the moment and weren't able to go look at the tape and digest it quick enough, right? So there is something to be said about that. Sometimes taking a big L like that up before a big game could have a nice momentum swing to it, if that's the case. Let's get some likes in here, boys. Got over almost 100 people in the chat. Show some love, baby. I appreciate you guys. Helps the stream out, helps the fam out. So, and subscribe if you're new and you like what you're getting here.
Or, the way that you're supposed to attack the defense. So I think there were times I could have did it, but it's in the past now. I can't do anything about it now.
What do you take away from that, though? What did you learn, maybe?
Whenever there is an opportunity for me to take the ball and run, I just got to do it because I could potentially help the offense. So that's what I take away from it.
The way you guys have come back, on Tennessee, on LSU, and Vanderbilt, and so forth like that, and even Georgia in that third quarter, does it kind of get a little frustrating to know that you guys are capable of playing with and beating anybody, and yet you've got 5 losses?
It's not frustrating. It just shows us like what we're capable of doing when we actually want to go out there and attack the game how we're supposed to, instead of being lackadaisical and just letting the foot off the gas a little bit. So it's just an eye opener for us, and just lets us know we got to just go harder every time.
Did y'all hear that? Sounded like he basically just said they didn't give a shit Saturday. That's what I thought I heard. Like, hey, like it was just like, yeah, like we're lackadaisical, we didn't care, like we can't do that. And again, that's how it felt, right? Like that's how Saturday felt. It wasn't like a lack of talent or out coach. It's just like nobody gave a shit. That's on Billy. Totally agree. But I don't think that's going to be an issue Saturday or Friday. It's frustrating that that's still happening, but you have to think about it like this, right? You need to get to 6 games to get a bowl game. That Vandy game, all that Vandy game does is it saves ego. If you win Vandy, win Florida State, you might get a better bowl game. But in reality, is it that important? Is it? No, it's not. So it's not important. I think that's what he's trying to say. You don't think he said that?
What's it been like dealing week to week with different receivers being hurt?
It's been a blessing, getting guys in there, building their confidence, help them catching the ball, help them get acclimated to the game, how fast everything goes. So it's been pretty good, just working with them, connecting with them, and just working like we've been doing since the offseason.
Dejan, we heard a lot about from the spring, and then had a good camp. Finally got his chance. What did you think of just the way he performed?
Well, I didn't expect anything less from him. He's a great player, great guy, one of my best friends on the team. So just him being out there, and able to showcase what he's capable of doing. I was happy for him, and I was definitely happy for him that he scored the touchdowns for us and got the yards that he did for us. Help us move the ball. So I was definitely proud of him.
From a momentum standpoint, just for the whole program, how important is it to beat Florida State this week? Especially given how fans are so disappointed after the Vandy game.
A lot of people disappointed, but it comes with the sport. You win some, you lose some. Even though we don't want to lose, it happens if you're not on top of your A game. So things like that happen. But momentum is always something that we try to work towards. Always try to put something in our favor when it comes to momentum. And we try to win every game. So we're not really focused on who we're playing, because that can really, alter your mind and the way you're thinking about when it comes to the game plan and stuff like that. So we just try to focus on winning the game. And, when we win this one, it's definitely going to build momentum for us.
What have been some of the conversations like between the team and maybe with the coaching staff about this game being on a Friday? Is that a distraction, or is that something you guys have discussed just because of how much it affects the preparation?
It's not really a distraction for us. It's just a quicker turnaround for us. We have the same, game prep, schedule for us. It just bumped up a little bit. That's really the only thing that's really changed for us.
Gotta ask you an unrelated one. Ideal Thanksgiving plate. Go.
Honestly,
Ideal Thanksgiving plate.
Who's cooking? If my grandma's cooking anything, then I want everything she's making. My mom's cooking anything, I want everything she's making. But I gotta have macaroni and cheese, some ribs, some chicken, some collard greens, cabbage. I'm a big guy, so I like to eat a little bit.
What's the plan for the team? Are you guys just going to eat here? Or are you going to go back with your families, or what are you going to do on Thursday?
We actually had a couple of gatherings with our coaches last week. Just early Thanksgiving for us, because we knew, and I was just ready to put on a show.
So, Billy, I asked him and Osiris about just kind of the rush to judgment that fans make. I mean, with you, obviously too, but just with the program's direction. What's your, big picture view of where things are headed under Billy Napier?
Coach Nape has a great plan, great scheme. He's a great coach. So I don't have any negative judgment towards him. Like, just knowing him for the past year and knowing what he's capable of doing, I trust him fully. and I don't blame the fans and the supporters for feeling the way they feel, because University of Florida once was a great program, football-wise, even academically. So they're holding us to a higher standard, so we got to hold ourselves to that standard as well. But with Coach Napier, I feel like everything get back on course.
Let's go, baby.
You said last week that you're not thinking about going pro at the moment. You're going week by week. In this era, with the opportunities that can be handed to a player to come back, and you compare that to the opportunities to go to the NFL, how difficult is that to balance in a player like your shoes?
I think it could be difficult. It could bring a lot of pressure on a person. But it's honestly up to them, in their judgment and what they want to do regarding their future. They got to have a lot of talks with their family and just consider everything that's happening. Like, just sometimes you got to be selfish and see what's on the table. But, I think it's just up to the person and their judgment.
On the subject of pressure, how do you think you've learned handling pressure and handling adversity this season? What have you learned maybe about yourself?
I learned a lot about pressure and adversity this year.
So here's one thing. I'm gonna wrap it up with this. Before I say anything though, if you guys, it's obviously hate FSU week. I'm gonna make a few phone calls again before we end the show. So if you want to email me at hightopsports2@gmail.com, your friend's phone number and name, that's an FSU fan, for me to call and wish them a shitty week, please email me right now so we can have some fun at the end of the show. But I want to say about this with Anthony. Look, I think he's got a great composure. I think he handles himself really well. What I am missing, and I see you guys saying this in the comment, is that spice that we saw, right, from Tim Tebow, even Baker, and I feel I always had some great leadership. Where it frustrates me, who he reminds me of a little bit, honestly, is Trevor Lawrence. And to me, I feel that it's translating now to the NFL that Trevor really never had that dog in him. You know what I mean? Just was always cool, collected. I was like, look, man, we're hanging out, chilling. I think it's great, kind of you never get too worked up. But when you need that passion and that drive, do you have it? I don't know. I just don't feel it. And I feel like you need that. I feel like you need that from a quarterback. You know what I mean? And I would like to see a little more of frustration, a little more like, look, man, hey, like we didn't go out there and do what we needed to do. Take more accountability. Be like, hey, I'm frustrated. I'm pissed off about it. It is what, like, you know what I mean? A little more inflection in his voice of, to show the frustration from it. I know it's Monday, and you can't, and the other side of it is you can't carry it over. You can't wear it on your sleeve. So I think maybe that's where, that's probably my weakness, is like I might carry it too much. But I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong here. I'm sure you guys will let me know. But I have another video here. I want to show you guys this because obviously we're all frustrated with Napier. Let's drop a light, boys. Come on. Let's show some love here. I know we're all frustrated with Napier and his coaching style and whatever it may be. And sometimes we forget how things were. So I wanted to play this video of Dan after the loss of South Carolina. And we're going to look at a few things.
Motion Array, biggest sale of the year, is happening right.
We're going to look at a few things.
And disappointed in what we did, and we got to work and find a way to get better.
Right off the rip, he's sitting down. I mean, you're going into a press conference now. I don't know how things were set up. I know Billy obviously stands for every press conference. To me, that kind of sets the tone. He's got a laptop in front of him and he's reading off a paper. That's not coming from the heart. He gives two shits. This is after losing to South Carolina 40-17. Okay?
Yeah, Dan, with so much to play for, to get back on track, and you said the team was spirited this week at practice. How do you explain the performance?
Yeah, that's a tough one. I know.
The guy is literally pouting. Like, we forget about that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So before we start throwing some hate, what would you rather have? The guy's already quit. You can read on his face he's quit. So I just want to kind of quick show you that. You guys take it as you will, but sometimes again it's easy. Like once we're on the other side, we think that it's always greener back over there. Like no, look, we moved on for a reason. Okay. We keep talking about the Mullins and the McElwains. It's like, guys, stop it. So I wanted to pull that up and show that, guys, to you because, that's where we're at. So you guys let me know what you think on that. But I think I wouldn't want that. All right, guys, let's shoot me an email. I don't know if you guys were here, but last night we called some of our FSU fans to let them know we hope they have a bad week. And I don't think we should ever stop. I think we should probably have a call a night. Sorley, and I think, look, watching the interview, Chris Sorley says, I like to have an offensive coordinator. Billy Ballsack got too much going on. When I heard him talk about the game changer situation, and they were like, who's in charge? He's like, well, they consult me and we talk about it. I'm like, my God, bro. You're too involved with everything. So there's a point to that, right? If you have to be involved in every decision, you can argue like, oh, it's great leadership. He wants to be involved. Well, the other side of it is like, well, you lack leadership because you don't trust the people that are around you to get it done themselves. Now, I'm guessing here. I'm going off of what he said, right? And I'm spinning it a little bit more than what I probably know. But there is something to be said about that. It's like, look, he's got a lot going on, and he's trying to do more and more each week, it feels like. So got to change that. Uncle Glenn, you're a piece of shit. Oh, we got super chat from Ben. Let's go. $2 from Ben Smith. Kirby lost to Georgia Tech and Vandy in his first year. Okay. Alrighty. I mean, I've been seeing those things. That's. Look, he lost to Vandy on. I don't remember what year, how Vandy finished that year, but Vandy's pretty good this year. Look, it is what it is. FSU's fans, they answered the phone yesterday. They answered it a few times. So if you guys want me to call your FSU fans, tell them to have a bad day. Email me. highthoughtsports2@gmail.com. Taylor Boy, what's up, big dog? How are you, man? Yeah, I've heard from Papa Stokes. Papa Stokes actually, I knew about this whole situation a few days before. Papa Stokes told me pretty quickly when it happened. We were talking about it, and we still been in conversation. I talked to him last night a little bit. We built a relationship. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't just like I would talk to him offline, like as father to father, like about becoming a dad and all this stuff. You know what I mean? So like we built a genuine relationship about it, just about life, like not even about football. So it hit close to home, closer than I think I anticipated it to hit, for sure. Yeah, I'm not losing hope. I'm still bought in, boys. I'm dialed in, boys. I'm not going anywhere. I'm all in. I'm 100% all in. You got to be. I mean, what's the pro of not being bought in? You know what I mean? I see a lot of you guys in here saying we're frustrated through this. Look, I think a lot of you have some actually, some reasonable criticism on a sense of like, hey, I think this needs to change a little bit. This needs to change. And I've said this before. Again, like we're in the comments, right? We're the keyboard warriors. We're just the voices thinking we know it all. Like, hey, you should be doing this because we're assuming what we think is right. But there is a point too of like, look, maybe there isn't anybody in that camp, right? The Billy Napier camp that will call him out. Like, yo, you're doing too much. You need to stop. And that part, I don't know. I don't know how the relationships are ran. And sometimes you got a guy who's just kind of running rampant. And if Billy is just kind of how he carries himself, right? You buy into that and you believe what he's doing and what he's saying. And he's not aggressive the way that he does it. And he doesn't look like he's being ran thin. So people may not know, like, hey, are you sure? To ask the question, do you maybe think like we should go out and go get this to somebody to handle this? Because you're in all these meetings. Imagine if you weren't in all these meetings, you could do this. Again, Billy's a smart guy. We're all smart people to our own extent. I consider myself somewhat smart, okay? And there's times where I overlook things. We all do. It's just human nature. And sometimes I got to get checked, right? So I got to get checked a lot of times. Because I can get moving and you're on a straight line and you kind of forget about the other nonsense that's going on around you. So it could happen. Bro, if Vandy beats Tennessee, boys, let's get it. Jenna, welcome to the stream. War Dad, how we doing, baby? Zay Witt, go Vandy. Oh, jeez. Jenna, We need Jack Hoppin for offensive coordinator. 2 dash from Jenna. Thank you for the support, Jenna. Collins, I'm happy for your family. By the way, cute kid. I appreciate it. He is a stud. What if we beat FSU? If we do, I can't wait to see the commits. Go Gators. I would love to see a commit this week. That would be nice. Kind of get some out energy going. You know what I mean? Get the hype rolling into Friday. I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't. It seems that we've had that kind of happen each week now from Billy. Has that been choreographed for a certain way for a reason? I think so. So again, I don't know anything, guys. This is me being hypothetical here. Okay, to be honest with you, I really don't. Sometimes I hear things, sometimes I don't. I honestly try not to get too much into the noise because you can look like an idiot. And I don't care about being first because being first isn't always the best. You'll get roasted for it. I'll give you my honest opinion. That's what I like to do. So I don't know. This is simply me. I'm just going off of data of what we have. I could see something happening this week prior to the game to help with the momentum going into Friday. Could I be wrong? 100%. But from what I've seen in the past, it looks like we could get some love here. So, are we still going live with the FSU game? I haven't heard anything back from Gator Dockside, but I mean, I expect us to still do something. I don't know if we're gonna be able to go live with Steve, guys. I don't. Boys, it's spicy. It's spicy. I mean, Steve has a good time. Don't get me wrong, but you saw how he was. I'm putting my email in. All right, boys. That is the email. Okay. To email me your FSU's friend's name and phone number. I'll call them and tell them have a shitty week. Why it's hate Florida State week. All right. Oh, man. Brock Glenn just transferred to FSU. Tennessee went 6-6 last year. Look, I mean, we here's the one thing. Thankfully, as humans, we have short memories. We're like goldfish. Nobody's going to remember this next year. If we go 1 loss, 2 losses, we're not even going to talk about this year. We'll forget. We'll brag about, hey, this, like, how bad it was and how he was able to turn it around. So, but we got to turn it around. Definitely got to turn it around. I got to ask you, if we were 0-12 this year, but won 12 games, went 12-0 next year, and went to the playoffs, would you take an 0-12 this year? Answer that. Answer that for me in the comments. Let me see. Oh, the Ventrell, they asked if he was going to appeal that, and he gave just like the most basic like non-answer in life. Just basically, yeah, those are some smart people working on that. So yeah, they're trying to appeal the situation for Ventrell to see if we can get him for the whole game for Florida State. So what's up, Muddy? 2023. Account 2430. Who are you a fan of? You're always in here trolling. I want to know who you're a fan of. Account 2430. I did thought we were going to go to win 10 games this year. I feel like we were on that path. I didn't think that we were not going to win it. So I still stick by what I said. All right, boys. We got one here. We got a phone call for Hate FSU, which, I mean, that just gets me fired up. All right, here we go, boys. Going to call an FSU fan here. His name is Robbie.
Hello.
Hey, is this Robbie?
It is.
Hey, Robbie, you know Cliff Arrington? Buddy Cliff?
Yeah.
He wanted me to give you a call. He told me you're an FSU fan. Is that right?
Oh, absolutely.
All right, so we're doing a giveaway for FSU fans this week.
Okay.
Yeah, we're handing out for you to have a horrible week. We want to make sure that you have, that you get a flat tire on the way to work, run out of gas. Just spreading some holiday cheer, okay? From here, from High Top Sports. Hope you just have
listen. Boy, y'all know what's coming, don't you?
What's coming?
Y'all know that tail whooping's coming, homie.
I don't know, man. I think, look,
Hey, I'll tell you what.
Go ahead.
I'll tell you what, man. One thing about it is this shows you how much the transfer portal has changed college football.
Oh, yeah.
Because when you used to where a team was where we were at, man, it'd take 10 years to get out of that hole. Now, I mean, they have flipped it so fast. And, I mean, you're going to see it happen at Florida. It's going to happen at these other schools because, I mean, they're going to regulate the portal some, but it's just changed everything. It's not going to take teams as long to get back now.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think, Lane Kiffin shows that you can start from the ground up and make it happen. Totally agree.
Right.
Yeah, no, Florida State's had a good year, man, but I just want to make sure that you have a miserable week. All right, so
Yeah.
I appreciate you being a good sport, man. Thanks, Bubba.
All right, man. Later.
Later. What a G. What a G. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Hey, bro, but he was dialed in, like ready to go talk sports. I love that shit. That was a good time. That's how it should be. That's how sports should be, boys. You should be able to go in there, talk shit, take it, move on, and keep it moving. That was a good time. I love it. Hey, Cliff, what a suggestion, brother. What a suggestion. I love it. I absolutely love it. See if we can get one. Okay. Chris is giving me one. It's a...
Hello.
Hey, Austin. How you doing, man?
Hey.
Hey, Austin. So I'm giving you a call. Your buddy Chris Sorley. Does that ring a bell?
Yeah. Yeah, what's
Hey,
up, man?
Yeah, so he told me you're a Georgia fan. Obviously, with that, you're probably going for FSU this week, and we're calling our fans, and we want to do a giveaway. You got a second?
Sure.
Are you going for FSU? I just want to confirm just before I don't want to
Going for what?
for FSU this weekend against Florida.
Am I pulling for FSU over Florida?
Correct.
I mean, yeah, I'm a dog fan, so I kind of hate on the Gators in general. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. So hey, with that, we're like I said, we're handing out. We're trying to spread some holiday cheer, and so here at High Top Sports Nation and Gator Nation, we wish you the worst week possible. Okay. We just want to make sure that you have a miserable week. Okay.
That was great, man. That was great.
I love it, man. Chris,
Hey, man.
Chris says, "Hey, man, I appreciate you being a good sport, Bubba."
No problem at all, man. Go Dogs.
Yeah, man.
Hey, man.
I love it. These guys are awesome. Great recommendation, the boys. I appreciate it. Oh man. Oh boy. If you guys got one more, I'll make one more. First comes, first serves. Let's get it. Let's see if we can get a few more in there, boys. I feel like you guys should have more fans, like FSU fans, as friends. Maybe not. Maybe I'm the crazy one. Maybe I'm the oddball here. I love it. That was awesome. Go Dogs. He was kind of like, I guess I'm going for Florida State. That was hilarious. Oh, you know what? I have one from last night on Twitter. That was Cliff. Oh, he just gave it to me. Okay, I went to our Twitter. All right, Cliff, we were talking last night. He did say he would know football, so that was gold. You were right, Cliff. He said he was a good time. He was a good time. I'm glad that you were able to come on here and do that, Cliff. I appreciate that. I know more UCF people. Dang. I wouldn't hate calling a UCF person right now, talk a little shit, but I'm still taking the crown from yesterday's prank call. Mr. Wiggs, yeah, yours was good, Mr. Wiggs. It made a short out of it. So, bro, what was funny is, so I called a few people last night, and they didn't answer. And I'm sitting on the couch hanging out with the wife, and they call me back. And so I answered them, and I was like, hey, I'm spreading them. I still talk shit. I don't know if they told you, but I still talk shit. I was like, hey, yeah, we're just calling you guys don't have a horrible week. Don't fuck off. And everyone that answered, they were awesome. Like, it sucks that they weren't live. But they, like, 2 people called me back. I was dying. They were rolling too when they answered the phone. It was awesome. I can't believe nobody else has any more to give me for me to call right now before we go. No more. This worries me. Oh, did we get an email? Oh, nope. No emails. Okay. Oh, Chris has got a bag of them. Is it Raul? He's a Miami fan? I'll just talk shit because he's a Miami fan. I'm not even, this isn't going to be Florida State. I'm just going to talk straight shit to Miami. Raul Lopez.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic...
Boo. Yeah, we can call UCF if we flip John Walker. I love how we just become like a trolling channel at this point. Like we're just whatever we want. I'm not calling Wendy's back, Muddy. Muddy, give me your mom's number. Oh, okay. So hey, Quentin, I'm pretty sure. Did I call Mel last night? Or did Mel call me back last night? Because you sent one yesterday, Quentin. Hold on. Oh no, Bruce. Bruce called me back. Quentin, Bruce called me back. All right, I got you, Quentin. I got you. Hope for the answer. Damn, Quentin. Your boys never answer. I'm gonna double dial. Sometimes double dials work.
Please leave your...
All right, we're gonna call right back. Because sometimes you look at double dial, like, oh, this must be important. They're calling me right back. Appreciate it, call. I can't end on a no answer. That's just not healthy.
Please leave your message for...
No, nothing. I double dialed. Did what I could do, boys. Did what I could do, Quentin. Text Mel and say, hey, if somebody calls you, I'll call Raul. Okay, I'll call Raul back. I want Raul to answer. I'm going to talk some mad shit to Raul.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message.
Oh, Bruce was dying, Q. Bruce was rolling. Bruce was a good sport too. He was dying. He was dying. FSU player? Yeah, that would be ideal here, boys. All right, boys. Hey, we have fun tonight as always. Be sure to like and subscribe. It's Hate FSU week, okay? Just to remind, if you guys forgot, just make sure I want to remind all of you that we're still doing it. Hey, gather some numbers for me, okay? Shoot me some emails so we can have some more to go through. You know, tomorrow and Wednesday and Thursday and Friday morning and etc. All right? All right, boys. You guys have a great night. Great Monday night. We'll see you tomorrow. We're gonna go live every day this week. It's a holiday week. We're gonna have a good time. So turn the bell on. Make sure you guys keep your eyes out. Let's go hang out. Let's have a good time. Love you guys as always. Appreciate it. Have a good one, boys.
I'll show you with action. I feel this pain, you already know. Turn that to gains, let my money show. I've got these things that I can't let go. Watch me turn this life into something that you can never own. I feel this pain, you already know. Turn that to gains, let my money show. I've got these things a human being. Cover them with tattoos so you can't see. Knew it from the start, you had problems with me and the things I could be, I just wish I had seen. I feel this pain, you already know. Turn that to gains, let my money show. I've got